I thought this week what we'll do is go through a project, an actual song that I've already made, and yeah, just kind of show you what I do. Seems like a bit of a thing, doesn't it? Going through tracks. I always find them quite boring to watch. So yeah, I hope you're not like me. Otherwise, this is going to be very boring. But yeah, I put a vote up, and I got 149 votes, which with a following, I've got nearly 500,000 followers. So it seems slightly underwhelming, which makes me think that no one is interested in seeing this today. But 149 of you are, and I hope you're all going to be here today, because we're going to do it. This is for you. If you clicked a button on Twitter, then this whole experience is for you. And yeah, so the votes were for Somebody Else, which is a track that came out last year. And yeah, this is it here. It's got quite a lot of stuff. So I do a bunch of work with my mate called Joe Jones, who is an extremely talented producer and writer and everything. Yeah, we're doing loads of stuff together at the minute, on working on all sorts of projects. And yeah, on some Flux tracks he comes in and he's like really good at atmosphere and layers and stuff like that. So yeah, we work together on some stuff. So there's a bunch of his like little bits and pieces around which we'll kind of go through. But yeah, I guess let's start from the start of the song. If you don't know what the song sounds like, I'll give you a bit of a run through. I can't remember my outboard settings. I have a I run through a bunch of outboard compressors and stuff, and I can't remember the settings. I got a picture somewhere, but yeah, so it will sound slightly different, and it's unmastered, but still. So yeah, it's that one. If you go on Spotify, it's called Somebody Else, and you can listen to the whole thing. But I'm sure you're gonna hear enough of it now. And yeah, so the track starts with this. And it kind of runs throughout the whole intro. So that is actually its guitar. I'm going to see if I'll show you how I did it. It's go into the keyboard. So, bit of reverb. So, and there's a bit of delay, I'm sure. So I've got this delay that you can make the delayed signal lo-fi. You can also make it modulate as well. Which I think always adds a little bit. But yeah, it's this. You won't be able to see it. I did a video on my on my pedal board, which will be on the YouTube, that YouTube channel pretty soon. So you can see all my pedals, but it's by Montreal Assembly, and it's basically, if I get rid of this, I use it as like a frantic octaver. It's kind of like a granular. You can. But yeah, I would tend to use it on a full octave. So I'm not even really playing anything, I'm just kind of hitting the strings. And then with the effects. So yeah, that's the general patch, and yeah, that's I did it really softly, little yeah, like chaotic. I like how it's sort of, it's not really in time. Yeah, it's a really nice layer. And then we have this. Which for the discerning listener will recognise as a mellotron. I had an old, it's not a real mellotron, but it was like the M4000, I think, which is by the Mellotron company, and is just a relatively faithful recreation, and used it for this, but I've recently sold it, so I can't show it to you. But the chords were actually from an old project that I started, I think, in around 2011, and it was around the same time as like I Can't Stop and Got to Know and all those kind of tracks, Gold Dust Remix. And I eventually turned the project into Standing on a Hill, which I think we did as a free giveaway or something. It was never really like officially released, but yeah, Standing on a Hill was like the first track that I sung on, and it was the direction that I was going in then is the direction that I'm going in now. I stopped myself because kind of, I don't know, first experience of achieving any kind of success, I sort of didn't really know what to do with it. Like I didn't know what to do, and I was getting success with big dance floor dubstep, so I was like, well, okay, well, it seems like this, and I got signed to a big label, and I was like, well, I better do what I'm told, kind of thing, and like, yeah, try and play the game. And yeah, it has taken me probably about 10 years or maybe about like 8 years to kind of work out that no one else really knows anything about my music, like in terms of is it good or not. You can have it, people can have an opinion on it and listen to it and say, oh, I like that or I don't like that, but for someone to say, this doesn't really work, or this could be better, like that's what you hear quite a lot from record labels, and if you have management and like other people's opinions, whereas they don't know the song like you do or like I do. If you're writing a piece of music, you've written that piece of music. And there are ways of making stuff better, but it's always better to just start a new song or experiment with new stuff, and at the end of the day you know what your song is meant to sound like. So to have someone to say, this could be better, or this could be different here, this is a bit too long, those are things you should listen to and go, oh yeah, that's interesting, thank you for your input. But you never need to, in my opinion, never need to take them to heart as if it's a rule, because you set the rules, because it's your music. It's as simple as that. If you want your song to be 11 minutes long and someone's like, oh, this won't work on radio, then it's not, don't play on radio then. It's not meant to be that. It's meant to be 11 minutes long. And that's the kind of general rule that I have always kind of gone by. And then somewhere along the way, I listened to other people too much and stopped writing the music that I was excited about. I still have never put out a song that I didn't like, but it's more like, I think, standing on a hill and the direction that was going in is something that's really interested me and never stopped interesting me. And that's why now all my new stuff does sound quite different to what people are used to from Flux Pavilion. But if you go back to all of my early music around that kind of time, what I'm doing now makes a lot more sense with all of that, because it's like, this is what I wanted Flux Pavilion always to be, is what I wanted to explore with it. So I've over the years always tried to do something with that project and never quite managed it, until now with this one I got the chords up and I was like, yes, this works. So that's why, that's where those chords came from. So yeah, I love the soundscapey kind of quality of this intro. Just like, no, it's really hard to mix. I had to do a live version because there's just no discerning beat or anything. But I really love starting a track like this. And yeah, here's some of kind of Joe's stuff. So what Joe does is he fucks around with synths and makes weird noises and stuff, and then I kind of cut them up and place them around. So he's really good at like atmospheric sound palette stuff. So often enough, kind of turn to him when I need atmosphere. You can get samples, obviously, but like, me and Joe work together a lot, talking about the aesthetic of the song and, you know, how it needs to feel. So it's he'd explain better if he was here, but it's it works really well. So now we got the vocal.
Sitting here trying to crack the code to your heart. Been trying to unfold who you are from the start. I'm giving everything, even though you're still a mystery.
So look at the processing. So minimal EQ. Looks like it's just kind of clicked around a bit. Not really done much. We've got a compressor. So this is the stem that I got sent, funnily enough, from...
You know it's hurting me.
Oh yeah, and I retuned that one note. So I got sent this stem from the vocalist Glinna, who's I get sent loads of songs all the time, and it's great because I obviously love music, but it's sort of sometimes it's quite overwhelming because you just don't know what you're listening for. So I just listen, because when songwriters they'll write loads of songs because that's their job, and so you get a pack of like 12, and if they're good, then they're normally all right. Like, you're like, oh, I can make this work, but it's you really need to wait for something special, and that only happens for me in my gut. I feel it. I'm just like listening, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's what I want to hear, and then they're the ones that I pick and do some work on. And this one, it was the chorusy kind of bit.
If all it takes is loving somebody else, I
It was this at the end that did it for me.
will, I will, I
And it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And then yeah, took the stems. Sometimes I get all dry stems and kind of work them into the project, but in this instance, I just used what they gave me, and yeah, there's a bit of delay.
will to your heart.
Yeah, it's a bit of delay, and then I've just CLA vocal, more delay, bit more reverb, and a de-esser.
Trying to unfold who you are from the start.
Pretty airy sound, but yeah, this note, it used to go.
You know it's hurting me not to read. You know it's hurting me not
Which is the only note which is out of tune with what I was trying to do with it. So I just pitched that one down.
to know it's hurting me.
It sounds very janky when you solo it, but
You know it's hurting me not knowing if I'm enough.
it's a bit weird, but I like it. I love little bits like that. And yeah, it now fits. I always thought like what you can do in that situation, because you can hear. Let's go like this. You can hear there's a slight shift in the formant, like
You know it's hurting me.
you can hear from the words that happened previously, like
You know it's hurting me.
if the whole vocal was like that, you wouldn't be able to tell because the whole thing's pitched down. But because one note is, you hear an odd shift in the formant, which is like this. It's like the size of her throat. It's like her throat all of a sudden changes shape.
You know it's hurting me. Not
But you could fix that by using a formant shifter. I use Little Auto Boy, and so I pitched it down one semitone. So if I shift the formant up one semitone of it here,
hurting me.
it hasn't worked that well. That's probably because I've got. Oh look, there's already a Little Auto Boy on it.
Hurting me.
So now you could,
You know it's hurting me. Not knowing it.
which would be a more passable kind of thing. You have to fuck with it a bit.
Hurting me. You know it's hurting me. You know it's hurting me.
But I'm so used to it sounding weird and janky now that it doesn't need that.
It's hurting me. Not knowing if I'm enough to be what you need. If you want me to love somebody else, I will.
So I think this must. Oh yeah, new vocals. So I'll show you the original stem. It's this.
If you want me to be somebody else, I will.
Which is, yeah, if you want me to be somebody else, I will. And it was the only thing I didn't like about the song. It's because, like, imagine saying that to someone. If someone wants you to be somebody else, like, fuck that guy. Totally, it's not up my, not up my street. That kind of sentiment. Yeah. Also, I don't want to have a song about changing yourself, having to change for someone to love you. That's in my opinion wrong. You are who you are, and people love you for that. So if you want me to love somebody else, I've thought was more about it's your choice. I can go, like, if you can't accept me for being me, I'm out of here, and I can fall in love again, basically. And yeah, I reckon that pretty much explains it. Feels stronger to me, more powerful. Especially as a female vocal as well. I really didn't want it to be submissive. It really fucks me off. That kind of like trope of girls needing men, or women needing men, and sort of like trying to please them. I feel like it is a trope in like films, becoming less like prevalent now, but being, yeah, like, I don't know, I think I need my wife real bad. I think men need women more than is depicted in media, for sure. I didn't want to have a song that was just about a woman who's willing to change herself for her love. It might not even be a man, I guess. That's how fluid things have become. A lover. So yeah, if it was another woman, then yeah, fuck her as well. If she wants poor Glinna to change herself, I want her to stay exactly how she is. And yeah, power to her. She switched up the vocal, and I feel like the song works a lot better now. Yeah, so the vocal is actually pretty simple. I kind of yeah, we'll move on to the drop, and I'll sort of deal with it. What else we got around here?
Been trying to unfold who you are from the start.
There's probably more effects and stuff.
I'm giving everything.
More like string layers. So that'll just be yeah, some contact thing. Strings are pretty easy these days. Yeah, if you got the cash, obviously get Complete. And there's some really amazing Native Instruments string packages that sound like that. And there's so that layer, so that's actually from the original thing. Yeah, so obviously I've made it on Massive, and that's from nearly 10 years ago. Made that sound. It's pretty mad. And also those chords that you can hear. I think it's here. So this was the original idea. It was a kick underneath this. So that's what I did. Yeah, 10 years ago, or 9 or whatever. That's where I got the chords from.
Trying to crack the code to your heart. Been trying to unfold who you are from the start. I'm giving everything, even though it's still a mystery. You know it's hard on me, not knowing if I'm enough to be what you need. If you want me to love somebody else, I will. If all it takes is loving somebody.
So yeah, so this is the original bass as well for my early project. That's why it sounds a bit rough. It's just like an absinthe, I think. Oh no, the colour's called absinthe. It's Massive. So that's a sub, but with just a simple square over the top. Can't even hear that sort of square in the song.
If you want me to love somebody,
But yeah, it still retains. That's, I think.
if you want me to love somebody else, I will. If all it takes is loving somebody else, I will.
Where those chords are here. So I think this is the Prophet, which is in front of me. This thing. So yeah, if you listen to my songs, like 1 in 3, I guarantee has something like that before the build up, just like a pretty chord progression in a fat sounding kind of saw, slowly filtering it. I mean, I'd guess listen to 1 in 3 fucking electronic dance songs, probably have that. But I'd like the effect, so I always feel like it's a bit boring. But here,
If you want me to love somebody else, I will.
I especially like compositionally having the chord sequence run, but keeping the I'll just type on the vocal. Having the chord sequence, the bass stay on the note. I feel like if that bass was just running along with the chord sequence, it just wouldn't be interesting or engaging. I like how it's just 2 notes. So it's a thing I do quite a lot, is have chords running and then have I could say monophonic, but it's more like, it's like a drone. I quite like how stuff can play over the top of a single note, because then when you do change that single note, if you have a drone underneath and then stuff going, when you do change the drone, it sort of drops out and really means something. So I find when having the notes keep on going, dropping down to the lower note, it feels like it has a purpose, rather than having the bass note just follow the chord sequence. It's like the bass isn't really its own thing. Compositionally, it's just kind of being led, and I find that can be a bit boring. So here, I think it adds a bit of it like releases some tension. That's the word I'm looking for. Sustaining it feels a bit tense, and then when you release it, it's like, it's a nice relief. I mean, that is the key, I think, to a powerful drop in a song. This is why all build-ups, just like big claps, it's just tension, so then you can release it. And I think it's an interesting thing to fuck around with, trying to create sustained tension in compositions. And this is pretty simple, to be honest. I mean, I make it sound more elaborate than it is, but that's what I was thinking when I did it.
If you want me to love somebody else, I will. If all it takes is loving somebody else, I will.
Oh, Kashmir effects. Okay, so trying to find it here. So this is the Prophet again. Yeah, pretty simple kind of sound without effects. This is what I do love about the Prophet and kind of analog stuff in general, is sort of what comes out is generally good enough. I used to spend so much time like fucking around with processing getting massive to like sound pretty. And yeah, like I do love massive, but it does have a bit of a stale kind of sound to it, and I think a lot of soft synths do. So yeah, analog stuff. I never really used to understand why people used it until I got this, and now it just has a kind of quality to it that seems to fill out a track without much processing needed. So yeah, there's a bit of compression, spreader. Always use the CLA vocal for like widening. Simple EQ, and then yeah, this going into a sidechain. So yeah, kind of it's a bit of a no frills build up, to be honest. Sometimes I'll do more elaborate stuff, but this one's just simple kick build up. Let's have a look what sample I used. Cashmere. Yeah, this is my Cashmere phase. I was using nothing but Cashmere samples for a while. Oh yeah, here's a tip. If you've got an analog synth, it's really handy for this, but it doesn't have to be. But I use the Moog. But that's the. So yeah, I've got. But noise, you can just. So I can like, what I do is I generally you'll see, so you see here it says audio 1803, it's track 18, take 3, and through the whole song there's actually not that much noise, but yeah, I generally just play the song and record one take of me doing noise on it. So here it'd be like. So that was muted, but yeah, put that for a big reverb, and yeah, that's how I get most of my noise. It's just getting a noise source. And then you can, if you play through the whole song, you basically perform along, and then no two are the same. So the song has a, like, it's not necessarily a progression. It's not like you're doing really wild stuff, but it feels a bit more natural because you're not using the same samples over and over again. Whereas it does look like I've just cut the same one and used it over and over again. But, you know, this was a while ago now. I've changed my techniques. So this is a tip for past me as well. Don't do this. Just play over the whole song. It's much more fun. So let's have a little look at drums. So drums, they're not even going for a group. So that is just a Cashmere sample. And then I got another snare. A little bit of filler. It's got a peak on it to accentuate the job that it's doing. It's basically kind of filling out that mid-range, because this is pretty so there it's got another peak around 5k, because that's the job that one's meant to be doing, and this one I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lower one, and it's got a peak there on it's the job that it's meant to be doing. So yeah, effectively this is like a low, mid and high, and three work together, and I've like giving them all a little boost just to sort of help them along their way to do their job. So yeah, it all sounds pretty big. I use this quite a lot actually, envelope shaper, which is basically it shapes the audio into an envelope that you choose, and in this case just the transient. So a transient is when a thing hits. That was a really weak transient. That's a slightly less weak one. But yeah, it's like it's kind of bit. So the transient's this initial hit. So you can get rid of the transient or accentuate it. So in this case I accentuated it. So there, let's see if there's any other snare stuff. Oh yeah, this sound. It's another Kashmir one, which is, I'd say, yeah, that's probably the core. Done the same thing, taken out some frequencies that just were unnecessary for the job that it was doing, and given a little boost for where I want it to sort of resonate most strongly, if that's the word. A compressor, very light, not that light. I tend to use compression as a boost more than anything else. You see, I've got the input ramped and the output ramped, so I tend to use it as like a volume boost to give me more wiggle room to play with here. This compressor in particular is really good for that, and I like, especially on vocals, I like to do that same thing, but like really ramp the input. I tend to so you're not necessarily getting that much extra volume. You could play with the threshold, obviously it's bringing it down quite a lot. That's an extreme example, but it's so, yeah, I like to do it on vocals, especially post delay and sometimes reverb, often not reverb, but yeah, it smushes it all together and kind of makes it sound more powerful, I guess. Makes it sound like the vocalist is really giving it some when they're performing, which Glinner has, but some vocalists you just want, especially for a big electronic track, you're like, nah, this needs to sound like not the world's gonna end, but like, yeah, it's always music to me is, this music especially, is about a visceral reaction and the release of that tension. So the more kind of like power there is in a vocal, the more sort of like stirred you become. I want it to be stirring, so that when it happens, you're just like transported to this like feeling of relief, but it's like a really like an emotional relief. That's always been like the core. A visual, I like to think about visuals and feelings. So like this track is, don't know, it's like a Studio Ghibli-esque vibe that it gives me. My tracks is like Cracks. I remember that one was a knight riding on a horse towards a volcano to save the princess, you know, Zelda, a classic sort of Zelda thing, but it was that real sort of triumphant, heroic, like against all odds kind of feeling. I was like, oh, I want the song to have that feeling. So that's what kind of Cracks ended up kind of having that. And most of my songs, I always have some particular thing. This song doesn't actually have a particular vision in mind, but it's always fantasy related. There's a wizard in there somewhere most of the time. So yeah, if you have any more questions, I'm probably gonna finish relatively soon. We're near the end of the song, so yeah, ask some questions and I'll answer before I go. Because to my memory, there's only one other element. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Really like that extra layer coming in. It's like a... It basically adds a little bit of depth to just that one part of the chord. It's a little really subtle like build in progression. We've got just a bit of guitar. So again, that's the Montreal Assembly Count to 5, I think it's called. Guitar pedal that's creating most of that sound. Probably a it's not called Pog, which is it's a pretty fucking cool pedal. I actually use it a lot. You can run synths through it as well. I'll show it to you real quick. So. Basically a get rid of that. You have your regular guitar, and then it will pitch shift 2 octaves down, 1 octave, 1 octave up, 2 octave up, and you've got access to all of them, and you can mix them. Then with your original, and you can make it detune and swell as well, like that, with a synth or through a nice reverb. Is a very lovely thing. And then and then with the count to 5, so roughly that kind of sound. So yeah, if you like pedals and stuff, or just if you don't, I recommend getting a Pog and then start running stuff through it. I can fuck around with stuff sonically. It's yeah, pretty interesting. An interesting little tool. And yeah, there's a lot of kind of little effects and stuff kind of gone through. Which will just kind of add to the some cymbals, little yeah, kind of little whooshes and stuff are all pretty important. This sort of So really you can't hear any of it, but that's not the point. The point is that you can feel that it's there. And then I can, by having it there, I can concentrate on what I want to be the dominant aspect, which, because it is meant to be listened to really loud, is making it all really loud. I think I wasn't entirely happy with the balance of this song. I always thought it could be a bit more powerful. It sounds like there's a little bit of a gap. There's no real mid to it. It's just kind of your lows and highs. But the more, because that, as soon as I start toning down this thing, it loses everything that made the song feel right. So it's like, okay, do I change the way it sounds because it could sound better, but it feels worse? I opt for feeling over sound generally. This like, get this kind of like makeup of it all feels really beautiful to me. So yeah, I could have made it sound a bit more powerful so you can play it next to whoever else's track you want to play, but I didn't, because of what I just said, I guess. Didn't feel right. But yeah, I think I could probably see if I can take these chords down an octave. I just could have. Oh, where is my sidechain input? What's it called? Audio 02. Yeah, even just trying to create a quick mock-up, I could obviously put more effort in, but I don't like that lower stuff being there. I feel like the song actually needs to have the middle taken out. Let's have a bit of breath. Right, let's see if anyone said anything. And yes, last thing, the way I've got this set up is they all run through, everything runs through my Cubase. So basically, let's say the Neve, I've got the Neve permanently plugged in out of 11 and 12 on my sound card and into 11 and 12 on my sound card. So and it can operate as a VST. So then when I can put the VST on a channel like any other, and then it just sends it out and then brings it back in again. So I don't have to bother with fucking patching stuff around. And I do have a 32 in, 32 out sound card because I have stuff permanently rather than patching around. I have it all like permanently plugged in, which yeah, it's a bit of an expense to do that. It's taken me 10 years to get here, but it's a pretty neat way of working. But yeah, right. It's a little bit early, but it's I've actually been here working all day, and I am exhausted, and there's nothing else to say about this song. So I'm going to go back to isolation, and I've got my modular at home, and oh yeah, there's all sorts of interesting stuff going on now. Endless is so there's an app that I've been banging on about called Endless, which my mate Tim XR created. And it's like a looping app where you can write music in loops and sort of sketch ideas, but you can share them with people so other people can work on them. It's like a collaborative kind of loop making thing, and you can do it runs all in real time, and it's super cool. And yeah, it's launching, it comes out tomorrow, so I'm doing a 1 hour live jam. Check my Twitter for details with Tim Tim XR, we're going to jam it out. And then I'm creating a Flux Pavilion endless jam. So basically, if you join the app, you can sign up to the Flux Pavilion jam and come and jam with me. Basically, we're going to stream the endless app 2 hours a day. So whoever is in there jamming, if you've got the app and you're jamming, on my schedule you can see what days it's going to be streaming, so you can be streamed on my channel basically. And then 2 hours a week on Fridays I'm going to come in, so I'm probably going to be in and out of the room anyway, just kind of like working on whatever jams are there. But on Fridays I'm going to come in for like the whole session, so anyone wants to basically collaborate and jam with me on the app, I'll be there for like an hour and a half, and it'll be streaming. But yeah, if you want to write some loops and stream them to my Flux Pavilion audience, it's the place to do that as well. It's kind of like a collaborative jam room, and yeah, so when I'm not on stream, that will be there, so that all of us can kind of fuck around and do some jams and see who pops up. I eventually want to do stuff with other artists, so like Feed Me, I'll get him to get it, and then we'll do a 1 hour stream, just me and Feed Me, throwing loops backwards and forwards. And I want to do it with Kill the Noise as well. And yeah, I'll kind of ask everyone. Next guy said he was up for it as well. I'll see what the boys are doing basically, and yeah, I'm going to try and get it going every couple of weeks, so that I have some kind of like special like collab jam. And then the rest of the time it'll just be me jamming with you guys. Yeah, check my schedule for all the times that's happening. And yeah, if you come hang out, we're going to be on Bands in Town tomorrow, streaming the Endless app. And then yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for liking my moustache, by the way. It really fills me with power. You give the moustache power, and I appreciate that.